If you've seen this logo online, then you probably know by now that this video will include some sick guitars. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'll try to compare three guitars that were sent to me by folks from Very Nice Guitars. I'll leave the link in the description so you can check out the guitars. They have some of the sickest instruments I've seen lately, so be sure to take a look. Nonetheless, they got in touch with me and got an idea to verify whether the place of production matters. What do you get for paying extra? Is it worth it? And how do I feel about those different models? And that's actually cool for me because the only Strandbergs I've been able to play this year. And yeah, I know this is another video about Strandberg, but yeah, I'm kind of crazy about these guitars lately, simply due to the ergonomics. And I haven't been able to play up until now on a different models than the ones being made in Indonesia. So we'll try to cover three things. So the first one, does the place of production matter? In case of these three guitars at least, because it's a broad topic. What do you actually get for paying extra? Is it worth it or not? Obviously, in my opinion. And the third thing I'd like to cover is how do these guitars compare to the current lineup of guitars? How do these stand out? So let's get to it. The first one is a J7, Strandberg J7 Buckeye Burl. It has a Buckeye Burl top. It's the one made in Japan. I always wanted to test how do these feel, because you might have noticed, if you watch my channel, you might have noticed that I have quite a bunch of Ibanez guitars, mostly Japanese. I mean, yeah, I only have Japanese right now. I haven't had up until now an opportunity to play the Japanese Strandberg, and this one it's gorgeous. The first thing that immediately pops up is this gorgeous finish. So let's go through those specs of this guitar. The body is actually swamp ash, and you have the Buckeye Burl top. We have the EGS7, so this is quite ordinary, but there's one thing that stands out. This will be a first thing that I'd like to cover, and you will see different angles throughout the video to see what I mean. But the bridge has tiny screws that hold the main screw for the action adjustment. So this is quite cool. I haven't seen this up until now. Not sure if they still make guitars with this mechanism. Probably not, because I've tested a few higher-end Strandbergs. None of these had this kind of mechanism, and this one was made in 2019, so that might be a thing of the past. That's a tiny detail, and it's quite cool to see it because it allows you for better stability. Not that this screw moves in any way, but if you can have it, why the hell not? The other thing is, we have 3-piece neck. So this is the second thing that's maybe not very unusual, but for Strandberg it definitely is. This is a roasted maple, as you can see, hopefully, and it's a 3-piece neck. So mostly I've seen that those are either 5-piece or 7-piece, so this is quite unique. Ebony fretboard. I don't see this thing in higher-end Strandbergs from the current lineup. And I have the Prog NX-7, and it has the Ridgelight fretboard, which is good for me. But if you're a wood enthusiast or believe in in the tone width theory, then this one would be better for you. Stainless steel frets, so this is quite usual. Fishman pickups, so this is the same thing you might encounter in the current lineup of guitars. The knobs are a bit different. These are Strandberg knobs. They have the tiny logo in here, but they have a different texture, different feel. And obviously you have the push-pull mechanism in here, so 2 voices and a split, and obviously a 3-way switch. The logo is painted in a like old gold, kind of, let's say, and the scale is 25.5 to 26 and 25, which is quite weird because it feels like it's a bit shorter. And how does this guitar feel overall? The quality of it. The Japanese craftsmanship is exceptional. Usually, when you buy for instance, the mentioned Ibanez guitars, Japanese Ibanez guitars, they usually are really gorgeous looking, probably have some unique finish. But the thing that I like the most about these guitars is the fact that I can't see any cosmetic flaws. I couldn't really find any cosmetic flaws, like tiny drop of paint here and there, or any flaws regarding the fretwork. This is exceptional. This is really free of any issues you might encounter in some guitars. And one thing I absolutely love about this guitar, and I think that Strandberg should add it to all of the guitars with fixed bridge, is actually the fact that there's a recess carved in the body for each saddle. So if you watched my previous videos, you probably know that I'm kind of pissed off about the fact that some of these guitars have problems with the spacing between saddles. So the issue that might occur is the fact that when you tune up, some of these saddles kind of scratch each other, and this is not the case for this guitar. So this is quite cool, to be honest. It's nice to see that. So the last thing I'd like to say is that when you would, for instance, pay extra and get this guitar instead of, for instance, one of the current models from Strandberg, then you will probably end up having something really, really unique. These don't pop up too often on the second-hand market. And actually the only place you can get this one is a second-hand market like Reverb or stores like Very Nice Guitars. So yeah, would I buy it? Most definitely. I have way too much guitars right now, but this one is really great. So that's it about the technical details. Let's see how it sounds. So the next one we have here is a Singularity. You might have seen this guitar. It's Bernd Nielsen, if I pronounce the name correct, hopefully. The guitar player for Scar Symmetry and the session player for Meshuggah. This is his signature model. Nonetheless, this one was made in Indonesia, so yet another place of birth, if we can call it like that. The first thing is that we have a swamp ash top. So comparing it to the J7, which had the Buckeye Burl top and a swamp ash body, this one has American basswood body and swamp ash top, which is gorgeous, by the way. I haven't seen a lot of guitars with swamp ash top, and the grain is really deep. You can feel it underneath your fingertips. This is something quite unique. In general, the first thing, other than the finish and the fact that it has true temperament, which I get to in a second, is the neck. This is the only Strandberg that has it. This is a more rounded shape of ender neck. And the thing that I'm not sure why won't they do that in other models, because to be fair, it feels like it could be a gateway neck, Strandberg gateway neck. So what I mean by that is that it could be a guitar that gets you hooked with underneck profile, because you know when it's rounded, it kind of feels a bit more like the regular neck. We have what is unique? We have a Lundgren pickups, a 5-way switch, so plenty of options here, and we have stainless steel true temperament frets. And you know, how does it work? I will not cover this in detail, but in short, this guitar is tuned like a piano is. So what I mean by that, for each fret separately, which, you know, the frets show, obviously, regular frets, or maybe, to be precise, regular fret spacing in most guitars is calculated by only the scale length, to quote, you know, Strandberg and the manufacturer of these frets. And this one actually takes a few more information to make it even more precise, to have this dynamic intonation. So the factors that are taken into account are the mass of the string, the speaking frequency, and the tension you apply to the fret. So the result is better intonation. So this is quite cool. And yeah, this one has Richlite fretboard. Actually, they carve a recess in the fingerboard and they glue these frets. This is really a precise process, which is a bit more expensive, obviously, and the Richlite feels like the best choice for the fingerboard. This one also doesn't have any issues with the saddles scratching each other. So what I like about this guitar the most, and what you actually get for paying for it, this is obviously the true temperament thing, the unique profile, one of a kind when it comes to Strandberg. Still under neck, but at the same time it's kind of like, you know, the regular neck. Do I see any differences when it comes to those, you know, cosmetic flaws you might find in some guitars? Maybe slightly, not the issues that I would mind, but some tiny drops of paint that should not be there. I mean, the single one here, but it's, you know, it's hard to see it. It's black on black. But other than that, it's still precisely done. So I imagine this is because of it being a signature model and at much higher price point. So probably that's the reason why they paid extra attention to it. So the last one I have for today is Boden OS-8, made in Korea, almost 10 years ago. It's from 2015. Swamp ash body, maple top, flame maple to be precise, maple neck, 5-piece, and maple fingerboard, and a maple electronics cavity. So that's unique. We have 26.5-inch scale on the treble side and 28 on the bass side. So this is quite regular thing for the 8-string Strandbergs. 3-way switch, volume and tone control. And what stands out when compared to, for instance, the standard series, NX-8 or the original series, for instance the Earth Green and whatnot, the electronics, obviously, EMG pickups are not really being installed in those guitars. I'm not sure if this is a stock thing, but yeah, this one has, so yeah. The other thing is that this EGS bridge, also, as it was with the J7 guitar, has those tiny screws that block the main screw for the action adjustment. And you know, sometimes some small factory imperfections when it comes to finish pop up, but in this case I haven't noticed any. So it has some tiny marks on its body, but they are due to the fact that this guitar was slightly used. But nonetheless, this finish really stands out. So what you actually get is the same thing as with the Japanese guitar. This is quite rare to find, quite hard to find, sorry. They don't pop up too often on the market, I believe. And the finish is something that really I enjoy the most. Oh yeah, and the brand and model name is carved actually in the body rather than being painted, which I personally like. This feels a bit more premium. And the neck, you know, if I would compare it to the NX-8, I think that it feels slightly more beefy. Rest assured, this guitar still feels a bit more premium than the standard series. At least when it comes to those small improvements on the bridge. Not sure why they dropped it. If you know, leave a comment. Maybe you have found any information about this. I couldn't, so yeah. But this one is at a much lower price point. You at the time of of filming this video, all of these guitars are available at Veronese Guitar Store. So be sure to check it out, and you will see what I mean. Last thing I'd like to talk about is my guitars. What I feel is different about these guitars when compared to, especially the Japanese one, the small imperfections. Sometimes those Indonesian made guitars, in this case, in my case, when it comes to this guitar, is the fact that they have tiny finish imperfections. I haven't found these issues to be particularly bad. The thing I found though is the saddles, the issue I mentioned. This is the first guitar I've experienced this small imperfection when it comes to the spacing of the saddles. This one had it, and I needed to fix it, which pissed me off, as you imagine. You know, you purchase a new guitar and it has this issue. So none of the previous guitars I've mentioned had this thing. So I couldn't really say that when compared to the other three, I feel that playability-wise, this is inferior. You know, we are talking about the price point at which none of those, you know, issues affecting playability should occur, at least in my opinion, you know. At around 2K, I think that still, even if you take inflation into account, I feel that above 2K you should expect that the guitar is pretty much flawless when it comes to playability. Fortunately for me, all of my guitars are. And the last one, this is the model I've been looking for quite some time. After reviewing the Prog NX-7 in natural, you can watch my review on the channel if you want. This is the guitar I enjoyed the most. It has perfect setup from the factory. I didn't have to do anything about it to be able to play it. But how does it feel compared to the other ones? I couldn't find such imperfections on the Japanese one and the Singularity or on the Korean one, but as I said, the Korean one is the oldest of them, so it has some marks on the body. As I said, they are probably from the fact that this was a used guitar, but this one was brand new. It has small smudges of paint that should not be that. I mean, at least I've found one. This is the high-end model of Strandberg, and it shouldn't have any issues like that, obviously. I don't mind them, but there's a small imperfection that it's hard to see. Nonetheless, it still feels like a premium guitar. So to sum up, I wouldn't say that paying extra gives you more things regarding the playability, so that these guitars feel better, play better and whatnot. Definitely the first three I reviewed, the guitars from Very Nice Guitars, are really premium, no issues regarding the playability. So what do you actually get? What do you actually get? Does the place of production matter? What do you actually get for paying extra? I believe that the cosmetic things, like the visual things, so the finish, if you pay for a Japanese Strandberg, it's obviously unique looking and small quality of life improvements like those saddles or the recess in the body. This is really visible, and I enjoy that. I think that all Strandbergs should have it. So that's what you get for paying extra. Singularity feels like, you have so many things added to this guitar that none other guitar has. So it's worth it for the true Temperament frets alone, And the neck, I mean, oh my god, this is like seriously the most comfortable neck on a Strandberg, period. When it comes to the Korean one, it's at the lowest price point. So what I would advise, if you should buy a standard NX-8 or this Korean one, if you come across it, it depends on the finish and the condition of the guitar. What I would buy in a precise order. I would probably get, the first one I would get for myself is this one. I have a soft spot for Japanese guitars and Japan in general. I'm planning on going there next year, so probably I'll film some guitar content for you guys out there. But nonetheless, I have a soft spot for Japanese craftsmanship also, because I feel that these guitars are being made with love. So out of all of those guitars, this one feels like it's probably the best. The second one I would get is the Singularity. This is simply due to the fact that it has all those bells and whistles and feels like you stole it from aliens and whatnot. Would I get this one for myself? For myself, no, definitely not. But I kind of stopped using 8 strings lately, even my NX-8 standard. This one feels a bit more beefy. But if I would be on the market for an 8 string that is a good looking guitar, I would consider this one, especially since guys at Very Nice Guitars have this one at much lower price point. Do I enjoy EMGs? Kind of, but they need a split, in my opinion. Because that's obvious. If you play gent, for instance, I don't. I play death metal, so these would work for me. But I still feel like this could use a split. So this is it for today. I've reached 1K subscribers, so thank you for watching my stupid content. I'm glad somebody can enjoy this. I know it takes a lot of time for me to post some videos. This is probably the last Strandberg video for a while. at least this year. I mean, we have December right now, so yeah. But nonetheless, thank you for sticking with me throughout this year. Hopefully these videos are helpful for you guys. So thank you for watching. Be sure to check out the Very Nice Guitar store. If you like nice guitars, as the name suggests, this is the best place. I mean, seriously, they have so freaking cool guitars right there. And I believe they opened a showroom at Krakow in Poland. So if you visit this beautiful city, then drop by. You will enjoy this. Yeah, seriously. Thank you for watching. See you next time.